Hey everyone, I'm Tassinix, and welcome to Plotting and Scheming, covering Season 69, 5 versus 5 Grand Arena Championship, Week 2, and to some degree, also Week 1, because we didn't record last week as I was on vacation. I am joined by TJ and Fatal today. Sasha Aisha is on scheduled vacation this week, and Dagger will be, indefinitely delayed this afternoon, so I think we probably won't see him. Regardless, gentlemen, a pleasure here to be with you as we talk about, what went on in the last week and the thereabouts of the top 100 of Kyber 1. I was in the top bracket this week and went 1 and 2. Week 1, I actually 3-0'd the whole week. Awesome start, put me in a really good lead rating-wise to maybe go for rank 1 at the end of the season. Going 1-2 here in the second week caused me to start out the week at rank 2. Still possible to do, for sure. Just got to be real careful. As far as those losses, yeah, one of them was just a bad call of mine on offense on Fleet. It was otherwise a really clean round. And then I took a gamble in round 3 doing a Seer Star Killer versus Lord Vader. A different Datacron configuration, and it cost me. That's about it. TJ, how about you? How's it going?
It's not too bad overall. I guess we're gonna go 2 weeks. I am sitting at 2-5. Like I 0-3'd. I goose egged around week one. I just was not prepared, I guess, for the what was to come, but then turned it around. Had a match with Dagger round 2, and I thought that was fun. So if you guys haven't got to go check it out, go check it out on Tass's. He streamed
Yeah, we
it. We
streamed
did
that.
both.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Got to try things. And then also got to figure out my error. And then second week, 2-1, like we talked about, fought another Erodium, like Ma Erodium. And ended up losing that one, not by much, but still just enough to make me make some adjustments again. So it's not too bad. So I think I'm still top 100-ish. So it's gonna be a fun week.
Fair. Yeah. Fatal, how's it going today? How'd the last couple of weeks go?
4 and 2. One of them was just I ran out of time, which fair enough. I've started playing with more time now, just because. Well, when you play against people who post a heavier defense, it makes you stop and think about stuff, and it turns out that's a good thing to do. And then the other one was honestly one of the more frustrating losses in a while because I won on ground and then just got horribly high rolled in ships with like one of the worst ships battles I've ever seen for that matchup. And I see this as someone who plays both sides of that matchup. It was just truly, what the fuck?
Nice.
I was playing Leviathan against Exec. And so they did mass assist, and then 2 of their ships went. They had contract, and my B-28 bomber had lost its first life. So yeah, no, that's excellent. I'd love to lose a GAC because of ships and only ships.
Do you not listen to the rules, Fatal? You are not allowed to let it get to ships. This is the rule of
Well, and you're
GAC.
saving triple meta still, right? So that is just gross.
Yeah, this is the worst part of all this is I can tell you for a fact, about a month or 2 ago, my guild was like forcing me to take R9 Dengar, so I was like, okay, let me audit and see like all these motherfuckers who have been doing ships for a while, let me look at their ships drop rate, compare it to mine, and see if anyone has figured this shit out. And I looked at a lot of people in top 50. Let me tell you, I had the least drops in ships of anyone. And it's like
nice.
There's nowhere to go that is safe at this point. Like no matter where you go, there is some amount of inherent risk. And I still what I say is like I recognize that like other people might be getting more defensive holds on ships, where like I occasionally get some, but I wouldn't call them earned. But the entire point of why I do what I do in ships is because I don't want any gambling risk. Like they might get more holds, but they're also dropping more. So like if we're in an efficiency meta and you're dropping at like 20% rate, I don't want to stick a GAC on a gamble. Like
Okay, so let's look at the Dagger fight between him and I. And literally to your point, we were like, are we gonna do anything? It's like, you know what? No ships. He's like, you wanna play you wanna place like light ships, right? You mean like we're gonna place like no, you're not hearing me. Literally, we placed no ships, Fatal. That's so when you say that I don't want to play, it's like we're not doing it. No ships. So when you open the zone, you automatically get the points. It is the best GAC you will ever have because there's no problem of a RNG when there's nothing on defense to fight.
Fair.
That's incredible. Like, at some point, if CG is going to leave certain things in a certain state for a long period of time, like it is just on us. It's just like, hey, gentlemen's agreement. Like, want to have some fun?
That's what it was. It was a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
And guess it was like and all Task could do was just shake his head like the disapproving father. He's not mad.
That's right.
He's just disappointed. And
You both
fuck you.
disgust
We ain't
me.
doing ships.
That's right. All right, guys. So back into it. Let's talk about the meta-analysis. First up, some notes for me for the last couple weeks. I mean, Slacker Dre, certainly one of the safest ways to deal with it is JMK. Some people, like Fatal, and I'm sure he'll be able to comment about, what makes or breaks that. Some people are out there doing Bane. Some are doing it with or without a cooldown pull. I'm sticking to the script for the most part with JMK. I am using the Hodacron. However, I have seen at least one player be successful with a set 22 high defense. His is about 400%. I don't know how much of that you really need, but my guess is 300 plus is probably going to be the lion's share of what makes that feel right. But I don't know, man. It is rare to see somebody doing JMK versus Slacker without the Hodacron. Nevertheless, that player, Herbert, was able to do that and against multiple people this season, which allowed him to use his Hodacron with JML to stomp out Lord Vader clones of any configuration, actually, that we've seen this season, whether that's Oppo or, Darkside Set 22. That JML Hodacron combo really takes it out. So I wanted to kind of make that combo mention there. Ahsoka with Ezra. Yeah, I've been using Leia with a light side set 22 high defense, and by high I mean like greater than 200%. I have also seen people use Queen successfully against full Ahsoka Ezra, Rey Ezra. All pretty doable for Queen, so if you wanted to have Leia as a flexible option for something else, you could. Although I have seen people struggle with Leia against Lord Vader. Do you guys have any insights on that? Because I haven't run that this season. Leia versus Lord Vader. Is it? I remember it being doable, but the high armor penetration set 21s could give it trouble. I don't know if set 22 is causing any pain for Leia.
I'd have to look at the numbers for the set 22, but Leia should still be okay. Just because you have the the Rebel tie-in for bulk as well to put up some of the funky numbers, but it's also how you're playing the fight. I think it's where it's going to give you cause to where if you get stunned or stuck, something else happens, you could be in a lot of trouble. And if they hit that massive damage on, with the Order 66, you're already going to be in for a longer fight. So there is potential to get caught depending on what the setup's going to do.
Yeah, Leia is actually still looking pretty solid. Just about 100%. I just configured like a CX2 cron, like what I would expect to see. But if I opened up the filter a little bit more, I'd say it's going to be the same. Probably not less than 62. Okay, so that's good to know.
I say Fatal wouldn't know any of this stuff, man. That's not Fatal's game.
I know.
You can't ask Fatal. It's like we have General Swigo and we have Fatal Swigo. So it's like, what game are we playing? You can't be doing that. Fatal doesn't know these things. He doesn't know about Leia on. What are you, dumb? What are you doing, Leia on offense? Got your back, Fatal. Sorry, us plebs can't handle that.
Or you could get higher banners with Bo-Katan Mandalore and post your Leia on defense.
Yeah. We will be talking about that. I can't wait to hear. All right. Against Lord Vader clones, a few notes I had. First, I've been successful using Bane Sass against Oppo or Darkside Set 22. The secret is very high armor penetration. So my Apocron is like 312%, so probably 300 plus is right about that mark. 25% health, and then it's the Dark Side buffs up level 3 from set 21. Anyways, whether, it goes down quicker if the enemy Lord Vader team has the Apocron. With the Dark Side set 22, you just have to be patient. Remember to use your basic on Lord Vader a lot, and that'll probably preserve you in the face of stacking offense. And yeah, it ends up working out. However, I wanted to make another mention about Seer. I saw that Aesop Rock in week 1 was able to use a Seer, Malicos, Starkiller, Crew, and Cal team to take down Lord Vader clones, I want to say, with an Apocron for 62 banners. And I was able to replicate it the very same for 62 banners. Next round, I fought a Lord Vader clones team with a set 22 high defense cron on it. And I thought, okay, I used a set 22 Dark Side myself, just like Aesop did, against Lord Vader with Apocron. Now looking at his high defense, I think I should use that same high armor penetration cron I've been reserving for Bane here to cut through all that defense on the opposing set 22. I got to tell you, it didn't work out because they ramped so much offense that the lack of any substantial defense meant my guys kind of just got whooped, probably a minute 30 into the fight. It didn't take that long for the damage to become just too much. And if I had to try it all again, I would probably stick with the set 22 cron, although I got to be honest. If I encounter the very same Lord Vader team with high defense again, probably not going to run Seer Malicos. Okay, and then last but not least, Leia does look like a generically okay solution to either Oppo or CX2 Cron. So yeah, no notes on that. All right, first item here from Fatal, BKM versus Lord Vader. So I've seen a couple folks pull this off, but would love to hear your experience with it and, what you think the critical points are to making it a success for the folks at home.
Yeah, so Livid was pretty vocal about this before the start of the season.
Yeah, shout out to
in
Livid.
my Discord. Yeah,
Yep,
Livid is the one who came
up.
up. It was not me. It was not Vexatron. Livid is the one who was like, at least that I'm aware of, was like the first person who was really just like, yeah, no, I think this is just like unlosable if you do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So like pretty much from the start of the season, I was like, I wasn't disagreeing with him, but my kind of alarm bells were going off of like, I'm seeing some risk here that I don't think is like he was like 3-0 with it so far, and I was like, this feels losable in a way that I don't think has come up with yet. I think like the easy comparison here is like Nisus versus Jabba, where like
that's a good one. I like that. I like that. Yeah,
it's basically you do all of your pre-flight checks before you go into battle, and as long as the checks all check out, you should be fine. So you just need to make sure like, are they looking to bulk it a certain way, or do I have enough protection or defense going on to like not fall for it? And then like as long as you execute correctly past that point, like I'm pretty sure you're like pretty much in for a 65, or like I guess maybe you could be a 64, but more than likely you're finishing with like a BKM sweep, so you're picking up full banners. But yeah, so basically the idea is you have IG-12 fastest, which I would argue is just good practice anyway for a variety of matchups, because it lets IG-12 cleanse either BAM or BKM if something happens to them. But in this case, we're not doing cleanse, we're doing the grenade toss dispel. To open up DCT, then BAM should be going next. You pop into birds. Should I post a VOD so we can like instead of me radio playing this?
If you want to narrate it, I'll put it on, increase speed and we'll get your commentary, sure.
Sorry, it should not take long.
I also want to correct my thinking note and appreciate Fatal clarifying it for me. I got to see it through Fatal's eyes and watching it on his VOD, but it was livid to the points, because then that kind of got me to where I was able to course correct, because I got it to work. Ended up being my round 3, but this is definitely the money shot, and understanding the pieces now and some of the other mechanics that go along with this. Like, oh, I get this now.
Yeah, Livid and I kind of diverge on some of our viewpoints here, but mostly the differences that I'm coming up with are just trying to play around worst case scenarios, which again kind of just comes down to if you know what to look out for, maybe you can plot around it. Okay, my second match had the Oppa with the health crown, so it should be this link, I believe. Let me get a timestamp.
Sure thing.
Okay, got it.
All right. Get me on screen. Know if it has increased speed.
It does.
Speed. It sure does.
Twitch into 2x.
So we got you up to 1.5 right now. So yeah, you open up
let
with
me
third.
let me get over to screen share instead of my VOD.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so basically the opener that I've narrated so far is true. Pause here. So usually in this scenario, so the majority of people seem to just not have a very bulky DCT, which is something I strongly disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Livid's playstyle seemed to kind of assume that DCT was going to die on the BKMS. And a lot of my pushback was, okay, but what if he doesn't? Or, how do we make sure this thing doesn't crash if they happen to be modded for bulk? So for context, enemy Kron is about 41% health, I want to say. The CX2 has 2 bulk primaries and DCT has 1. So right now, like, if we're comparing to like a max bulk build, there's like 3 primaries worth of room to grow on the DCT here. So when I'm doing like a risk assessment on this is exactly where my headspace is, and I think I actually try it in this match too, just to confirm.
You did.
Play ahead on the next turn here. So what Livid likes to do here is he likes to do birds on CX2, go for the kill, and then because DCT is super low, the rest of the remaining birds would pick up CX2. So I did it the way Livid does it. Pause it here. So this is my number one concern and why I think a properly built LV starts to put challenge out here. My feeling on the matter, so we do actually end up killing this DCT, which again, it's only 1 bulk primary, but the pause on the next turn, the AoE kills him, or you have the burnout that you can try to just finish him off with the 50% health damage on burn. My personal feeling of the match right now is if you know the DCT is squishy, and the CX, you kind of need to know both, right? This is kind of like you need to scout Java and Chrysanthemum for Night Sisters to know what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
This is I would call medium bulk scenario, and I'm already kind of on the ropes because if DCT lives, I think that's just kind of checkmate. Like you can imagine, you throw another bulk primary or 2 on that DCT lives, he's gonna just like end me basically, right?
Yeah.
My personal feeling on this is if you know you're dealing with bulk, I think you just have to put burrs into DCT because I think letting CX2 live isn't the end of the world. But at that point, we are talking kind of classic gas versus Ray situation. You want to be comfortable with this matchup, and you want to be able to play fast.
I completely agree.
All of it. Sorry.
No, it's adding the notes, and I would recommend this. Fatal does a great job during the VOD. So I know Tacit will do this too. But during the fight specifically, Fatal, you do an awesome job of talking through your thought process of where do I put my birds? Do I put it into the DCT? Well, what's the concern? Let's try it this way. So I really that is what else helped me to elevate where I needed to go on those choke points, because it still does need to be these 2 guys need to go away to get to the next part of the fight.
Yeah.
So what you called it out during the fight was very well broken out, if that makes sense.
So I'm trying to cover my ass here because so whenever somebody comes up with a counter, I tend to take it hyper seriously and look for risk case scenarios like this. Livid hadn't lost yet, so I was coming off as very aggressively no, it's not going to work, or at least that's what people seem to think. And the thing I want to make clear is I'm not doing it to doubt. I'm doing it because I think it could work, and I'm trying to say what scenarios like this could crop up that
Mhm.
we need to be prepared for to make sure this shit is airtight.
Yeah, you want to know how high the reliability is. That's a very reasonable question. By the way, my thought here for DCT is, if he wasn't going to die off that mass assist, then I would plug him with Birds, having seen what you just did here. Like, if Birds wasn't going to one-shot CX2, then absolutely it was not worth it to have your focus anywhere else but DCT.
But this is where it's great.
But that means the overflow birds are going to the next weakest, which is the summon, right? So that's unfortunate in the sense that that's wasted. But the kill on the main guy is the kill, so not mad at it.
The other big point of conversation regarding this, again, we're kind of in the vein of NS Java here. I think there's major questions between offense versus speed loadout for BAM and BKM, and I would argue pause as well.
Pause is interesting.
So right now, my BKM and BAM are on speed sets. Now you look at that DCT, you say, okay, that small of a sliver, offense set probably would have gotten over the line.
Probably.
But at the same time, you start having conversations about like, okay, but what if they have more bulk and you have to worry about cycling your birds plus mass assist combo, like possibly 4, maybe even 5 if they're like built correctly, but probably more towards 4 times. And that's where like that 20 extra speed, I think, could start to matter. That I would say that's up in the air right now. Like for the current meta, I think offense set probably would get you more mileage, but the speed set to me is more just trying to future proof. But yeah, for those who don't know, Ancestral, the BKM lead true damage, does not scale with offense. So the gains that you get on offense are minimal. It's usually about like best case scenario, you're talking like 35,000 more damage, which is not nothing. But if that DCT has 3 extra bulk primaries, it's not gonna, put him under, so to speak. So
what do you think the meta, the current meta way to mod DCT is? Because I think that most folks in Grand Arena are wanting him to be, since the AI doesn't properly control for how to take advantage of ruse, most folks are making him super fast, something with a speed arrow in the 360s, crit damage triangle, yes, a survivability cross to go with a circle, and high offense on it besides. But what do you think the best anti-tech is here to BKM, looking at that?
I think DCT and CX2 both, you want 3 health set for high bulk primary secondary combo, which, to be honest, like, I mean, if we're talking JML Hermit Unicron, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you, oh, actually, the extra bulk is going to be good against JKL taking 10 million turns.
No.
But if they're trying without Hermit Unicron, the raw bulk does actually kind of help check against lessons there too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the reason why I've always had DCT on a ton of bulk is because I kind of see him as like the Bausch of the squad, or like everyone's just kind of gunning for him a lot of the time. That I'm just trying to protect his life. And here we see BKM in an immediate example where their game plan is just to put him out immediately. And so anything we can do to try to slow that down, because like, I could see a situation. I will stop saying it at this point, but again, kind of like Nisus versus Java. There are layers of comfort and experience with the matchup where you can imagine that like a crit damage triangle speed arrow DCT goes down to like a first time BKMer, but then maybe like a 3 bulk primary and like crit damage triangle throws them off their rhythm and they don't know how to adapt. That's value for you, right? You can kind of, if you've got like a good fast bulk primary, you don't even necessarily have to give up on your original game plan if you don't even want to. But yeah, really just anything to try to force BKM out of this rhythm, this whole mass kill DCT, birds kill CX2, and you're just set from there, right? How can you? Well, you can lose if you do what I did and try to kill LV before Scorch. But if you don't do that, how can you lose?
And that's interesting, because if you are going to pull off the Seer Starkiller versus Lord Vader, you really just go after Lord Vader.
Yeah, I need to reread Scorch's kit at some point. I don't really have him memorized, but I didn't really remember anything in Scorch's kit that would penalize me for going for Lord Vader. But really, what just happens is, or the truth of it is, Scorch is just easier to pick off. That like, if there were some matches I had where the LV was squishy, that they probably just had like speed, arrow, crit damage triangle, and I was picking those up. But if the LV survived the combo, I was stuck back on Scorch, where it's like, nah, man, just kill Scorch first, right? Just get him out of the way. Like, because if all you have is BKM mass plus birds combo on LV, and that's not enough, like, just there's no reason to continue. Just stop. So yeah, you've got all those free hits on Scorch anyway. He's gonna be easier to drop. You're not in too much danger for the final stand with LV plus Oppo. The other thing I haven't mentioned yet is
I'll hit play on your fight here.
Yeah, the other thing I have not mentioned yet. Pretty much every member of the team is on like at least one defense set, if not 3 defense set. In the case of like OG Bow and IG-12 +4 protection primary. Okay. And then the defense set is light side bulk with tons of defense. I don't think it's necessarily defense dependent. Like, even if you just have a ton of protection, that's probably fine. The whole point being, though, we're jacking up our protection to health ratio. We're jacking up our defense, especially dealing with Oppo just to try to help weather the storm at this point, because you will start to see like the Oppo stacks do get a bit up there. That if you are not thinking about your bulk, they will start to remind you that you don't have it.
Yup, I know it. Yeah, you're definitely making your way through. I think the only reason that Scorch helps Lord Vader is just when he hits that half health and gets the top off in the shield, yeah?
Right. One other thing that you're not seeing in this footage, I might try it, or no, it's not might. I did lock in with it this week just to see how it felt. Low speed OG Bow is just kind of, her turns aren't consequential, so just kind of by lowering her speed, you kind of ease some of the pressure that the damage over times apply on you. Yeah. Her job is just to stay alive and give you her passive, give you that extra protection. Excellent unit, but we do not need her to take moves.
Yep. So yeah, the defense is really paying dividends for you right now.
Yeah, 100%. Right there at 15 stack, not necessarily balmy weather.
Yeah, no, your Grogu was under focus from Lord Vader and just went, this is fine. Looks good.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where you definitely want to cross things off going in, but I feel like my confidence is going to be pretty high going in this week, or at least if something is wrong that I think is going to present a risk to me, I think it's the sort of thing where I would know before the match, not like during the match, right? Okay. Like, yeah.
This is pretty good. I also want to note that at a couple points you had the option to use your Wonder of the Force or go into bird stance maybe 2 turns earlier, and you did choose to use Wonder every time you could, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
No, actually, I wonder if this is the match. I'm not trying to do too deep of a dive on this, but this is actually also potentially relevant. Okay, so we've all played Bo-Katan, even before Bo-Katan exists, we've all played Beskar Mandalorian. Sure. The moments where you're like, all right, combo time. You go into stance, they hit someone and immediately trip him below threshold.
Yes.
You're talking about, is it timed? Yes. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's this VOD or the one from last match where there were a couple of moments, if you will, where I recognized, like, okay, because I have the Bo-Katan bonus turn Omicron, that means that my BAM gets his birds back a turn early before mass comes back up. So if you're not used to that and thinking about that, you can kind of hang yourself if you just like, okay, birds are back, we're hitting this shit. It's like, nah.
You called it out. I believe it was that 5 fatal. Move. You called it out. You were like, nope, need one more turn. Nope, need one more turn. And then you went in. And then after that, you're like, oh, I needed one more. So you were in that fight, I believe, because it was already a worst case scenario of you had missed the mark to drop the DCT. Near the end, you were trying to time out because you were trying to, you could watch yourself doing it. And you kept calling yourself out saying, oh, one more turn still.
Yeah, so that's a concern. And then, yeah, especially depending on the quality of your OG bow, if she falls below threshold, she can fuck things up for you. Or I had a turn where it was like, okay, it was Bam's turn. OG bow was about to go, and then it was BKM, and she had her mass ready.
I'm going to tell you where a great solution comes in to solve that if you can't catch her with the AoE. And that's where the turns can work, of having your other characters with their AoEs. And the reason I bring this up is, to your point, I was off with my BKM all-in assist, but guess who went off? And then every other one was hitting AoEs. So I had OG Bo hit her AoE, and I had Paz hit his AoE. So I was still back up to my stat count just where I needed to be, even though I missed on the mass assist from BKM.
So the reason why, normally I agree with you, but the reason why I disagree with you, or the problem against that here, and I think it was that VOD, by the way, but I don't know if we care to, we've already spent a lot of time on it. The issue was, the thing that was going to knock her below threshold was her taking a turn with the dots at all. That was the moment where it was like, okay, I'm truly just forked here.
I'm okay with the disagreement, but you have to remember, if I'm hitting OG Bo's AoE, I'm bringing her back up regardless.
But what I'm saying here is, like, if the turn, like, it's literally, okay, it's Bam's turn, OG Bo to move next. If you entered bird stance, your immediate next turn would have been, like, maybe you have Bo AoE, you make 5 birds, and then you're immediately back to Bam turn. So, like, you're still on 10 birds. That's still not really going to be enough to drop anyone.
Oh, then maybe it was because my timing was that correct that I was able to hit. But by the time I literally got the sequencing in, and we're talking, they were already dead. So I had the situation that exactly what Livid was talking about.
See this?
The all-in mass assist killed DCT, birds into CX2, which means my timing and everything was set up perfectly by BKM went, bird, then it was OG Bo, then it was Paz, back in, miss on my BKM, and still was at like 17 stacks, I believe, or something like that. So I would say you're right, but I guess for me, I got the best case scenario of the all-in assist worked, and then also CX2 was just popped.
The timestamp, just because I think it'll be a lot clearer to narrate if I can go straight to it. But yeah, no, it was a weird situation where, like, BKM was ready to go, Bam was ready to go, but I was basically forced to do the Bam combo move like twice over before it was actually ready. Like, the first time was because OG Bo was about to screw up birds, and then the second time was like, okay, OG Bo's about to die. Do I save her, or do I just, go for the kill? And I ended up choosing to save her. I don't know if that was correct.
Yeah,
or not,
I think this is the moment I have on screen, because I think you're using Wonder on her right here.
That is the second one.
Yeah, that is the second one. Yes. Yeah, and it was probably the right move. So. All right, let's move on to the next item from you here, Fail. Bane versus SLK. So did you do that earlier or later in the fight? Let's see. Looks like it's out here.
Yeah, it was mostly just to say I juiced up their mods, and things have been pretty okay ever since. It seems like I've fought all variety of Ray. Like, it seems like crit damage Ray is actually, like, weirdly popular right now. Which I guess, like, I kind of understand. Like, she is taking plenty of turns and is putting us in damage pressure. But yeah, no, the Zalbarkron is a huge boost. The damage on Bane, just to be sure that if you're ready for that outcome, and then otherwise just having a really robust Malik just to make sure that he can hang in and give the drain pressure on Ray. I think in week 1 I tried like a squishy Malik, and to be honest, that actually felt god awful compared to just like, no. Malik is almost technically the stronger character here. Obviously we need Bane to win, but yeah, I don't know if this match specifically is like a good example of like a good Ray. But all in all, I think I am 5-6. Or no, 1 person held. I'm 4-5 with it. And the one loss that I had was actually against solo, because I tried a cooldown pull first.
Gotcha.
it seems to flow a lot better when you just play without the cooldown pull for the current setup that I have. Just feels
Okay.
way more consistent.
Here you go. I'm curious what's going to make you say why you don't think this might be the best representation of this fight, but we'll see.
I'm just pointing it out because it's like I think Hux and Ray are Relic 7, so it's just like weaker than your
Nice.
average. Yeah, like she's only R8, which granted R9 is like the drain is still roughly the same. Here, I think I'm just yapping because I don't know if it's actually lethal threshold with only 3 buff dispel and her being jacked on health. But yeah, she dies. It pretty much just goes from there. I think almost every fight is ending in a 64.
See this, yeah, that worries me where he can lower your mastery here again and again, and then you can't hit him late game. I guess it doesn't go so long, but I remember a few seasons ago that was a problem.
Yeah, that was the rip on your mastery, and it was like watching the JKL fight because you just couldn't do
It
anything.
was bad.
Yeah.
My damage on Bane is very, very high modding wise. That
Mhm.
maybe it's just I'm closing out the fight before that window possibly happens.
Are you
For all I
about
know-
like 11.5k?
I don't know what I'm at. Let's see.
Okay, just curious. Well, first of all, that looked great. So I don't know if you had a better timestamp, but that did look pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty much all the fights have played out that way, regardless of how invested they are. To be honest, like it's really just the virtue of Malik Drain is Malik Drain, no matter who you are, and then Malik Death into Bane AOE is also, it's not a percentage, but it is guaranteed attrition.
So I'm going to ask you this question, Fatal, only because I'll go from the other side of things. Because we'll have the SLKR team still here next season. My question to you is, with Zalbar Kron going away, are you just trying to look for similar stat build to try to make that work? Is that the idea here? Because your modding is not locked in, but the cron that you're using is going to go away, because that to me is perfectly accessible, right? There's not being used anywhere else, but with that going away now and that's coming back next season, you'll still have this counter. You're just going to try to look like bulk defense or something else that's going to try to stick it?
I'm trying to think. I know one of the crons is actually just like Zalbar Kron, but better, but I believe that's the Rolo Kron, is it not?
Yeah, defense and health on it. Yeah, crit avoidance, I think, as well.
Yeah, no, I'll just look at what the options are and
Cool. I just figured I would ask that
I think
question.
your Darth Vader Kron has defense. I want to say those are the only couple of Krons that have defense out of the new focused ones. And maybe you could use it for that. I don't know. But let me ask you this, Fatal. Using your Zalbar Kron this way, do you think there's any understudy to use in the week to come? Because I found that the Zalbar Kron, specifically using the level 9 effect, was really great, doing like Balin, Shin, Marok, Hondo, Zalbar against a JMK Ezra team. And I actually want to show that to you guys.
I am gonna trump not just that, but literally almost anything you fight is with the combination of Zalbar and the Balin and the Zalbar Kron. It just trumps this team on killing almost anything you put it on. They just cannot sustain because of the fact that you have 2 taunts and everybody's holding your stuff down. It is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, this fight's just going to go on by, but you'll see that I just kidnap Ezra early, focus down Cat, and basically kill the other sides, then Ezra, then JMK, something like that. It feels pretty safe. So my question to you, Fatal, is have you come across a defense so robust where you've had to fight this? Fight a JMK Ezra, a Ray Ezra, something where you... My concern is, like, I don't know that I want to do this counter without the Zalbar level 9.
Nobody is posting anything. I'm
not
losing my mind. Dude,
yeah.
I am beating people
Yeah.
who they wouldn't post the squad, and then I would check their offense history after the match, and they didn't use it on offense. And I would have lost if they posted it on defense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker, I would have had more fun in my attacks losing if you just like. I don't understand how people can be like, well, I'm not gonna post this team on defense. It's too good to die to blah.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what? You're saying the team is so good that you're never gonna use it? What are we doing? What are we doing? What like?
Oh, quick question. Something just happened in the fight that I wanted to ask you about here. We got a Balin turn in which he's about to use third, and I looked at this a couple times. Let me take it back off of playback speed back to normal. But I want you to see this because Ahsoka isn't getting stunned and then having that stun expire. She is having her turn meter reduced, and I don't understand why that should be with JMK on the board. So watch. Boom. He is still animating. It is not her turn. She did not take a turn and cause, that turn meter bar to reset. She just got TMR'd. What's up with that?
Rewind it so we can look at everyone else except for her. Like, let's look at everyone else's TM bar.
Absolutely. Hold on. There. All right. So she's looking pretty good. Let me see if I can get a slightly less jacked up frame. That's about it. So there you go.
So we look at Merrick, he's at about 15%. All right, now do the slam. And then let's see how Merrick looks after slam.
Sure, I'll slow it down a little bit. We'll put it at 0.75. And here we go. Sick. That's expired. Now it's his turn, right? Balin, you see the state of everybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Boom. Animation still executing.
You also see that JMK got, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's less obvious. I wasn't even looking at that, but I guess you're right there too.
No, I tuned in. You're looking at the full thing. That team, because JMK's turn meter was reduced.
Now I double checked JMK's kit, and there's no conditional. It's not like once some other thing happens or you lose some buff or you're below some threshold that immunity to turn meter manipulation clause is shut off. No, that's not the case. So bug?
Smells possibly like a bug. I will admit, I don't really play Balin on offense that much. I don't really remember his kit super well because of that fact. But I'm looking at the anti-Ahsoka clause right now.
Yeah, I thought about that. I mean, here, let's pull it up so we don't have to rely on memory, but Legends.
It doesn't even mention turn meter.
If there is a non-galactic Legend Ahsoka enemy, mercenary allies ignore protection or immune to critical hits and healing immunity, and they expose all enemies and inflict them with healing immunity for one turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. So that's the Ahsoka clause in full. The ability is power such as you've never dreamed, and in Grand Arenas, enemies who resist stun from this ability, which appears to be the case, lose 100% turn meter instead, which can't be evaded or resisted, which otherwise checks out. It's just against JMK. I don't think that should work.
Yeah, I mean, JMK had high ground, right? And they had the protection up, so for sure they resisted the stun. So this could be a weird spaghetti case where maybe the resist loss is self-inflicted, that is bypassing the restriction or something. Yeah, that seems like a bug. That seems like something that should be rewarded.
All right. Well, I might get on that here. Matter of fact, let me take the screen grab. All right. We'll save that for later. All right. Appreciate you looking at that one with me, guys. Let's get back on the list. Great. Sorry.
No, to your point, no, nobody's posting shit against me. And maybe it's partly to do with how much I post that people feel like they need it.
Yeah.
They don't need it. I can tell you that for a fact. They don't need to pull 40 teams to fight my squads. I only got 11 of them. But
it's fair. Balin's actually been pretty clutch for me this season. I don't know. Again, it seems like you're not seeing any of these interesting teams so far, Fatal. But Riva Starkiller, I've seen a couple of times, and by the time I get to it where it's invariably set on the back wall, it's nice to have Bane for that, which is why later on I kind of rotated to try to keep Bane. But
I can tell you right
otherwise,
now.
sorry?
I can tell you right now, Grievous Starkiller is just Grievous fodder. Which, like, I mean, granted, Grievous is like typically -3 banners, so maybe it's a minor poison pill in that respect.
Yeah.
But in terms of like difficulty, and I don't even know if Balin's necessarily getting particularly great banners in that scenario either.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why people want Riva Starkiller to be good. It's not good. I'm sorry. I've tried. I've looked
it's
at it.
like high defense, set 22, dark side stacking offense is what they're setting. If you don't otherwise control Lord Vader when he gets to that second turn, it actually can kind of fly off on you because it'll move pretty quick at that point. But for what it's worth, I was actually just about to say that with, again, I don't know exactly how much of this depends on the Zalbarkron, but Balin was like a 64-65 against that.
It's all things, man.
That Riva Starkiller thing.
It's just dying to too many things, and even the best comp for Balin, which is still sitting in my opinion, the Dabbog Kron with the Dabbog Bros, Fennec and him on that team, super strong defensive team, is still dying to just like JML or other things. But on offense, Balin is just killing things, and it's holding banners well. So break glass, and then if you can throw in Zalbar on that team, it is even that much stronger because it's putting those pieces together and just the stats tied in with it. It's so I said that it, and I said it from the beginning of the season when we talked about it. It was like, I said on defense week 1, and that's kind of what my season has been with all the losses.
Yeah.
Is just I'm learning, and it's just so crazy how strong he is to like, oh man, I'm stuck. What do? Oh, I'll just go Balin it, and it just clears it out for good banners.
Yeah, I want to say against Treya, I mean, obviously you're thinking anywhere where instant defeat is a factor, you kind of get to run all over that. So yes, I want to say maybe only just the first round or two of the season did I have him on defense, and he might have even done work there, but in general, it has been such a nice security blanket to keep him for offense. So that's just my note there. Back on track, though. Next one here from Fatal. Great Mothers /Zori/Trench versus Ahsoka Tano. Tell us all about it. I don't actually know too much about these. I think I saw Aesop take out everybody but Ahsoka against my team that was down, just full Ahsoka Ezra with a Heracron, and he got everybody but Ahsoka down before timing out. But that's pretty much my extent of what I know about, fighting off cut. I'm assuming Great Mothers is where you are not fighting Ahsoka Ezra with a 25% preload.
Much. I mean, like if I'm ever in a position to test it, I kind of do just want to test it just to see. But yeah, just like on principle, it doesn't really seem like a thing. It's also kind of muddy by the weirdness of like I would really love to try, because I did have some people try to have their cake where they like went Rey Ezra and then Ahsoka Heracron non-Ezra. And I was looking at that like, I don't know that you are being honest with yourself about the power level going on here. But, I wasn't going to risk a GAC where they finished with like -50 banners, so I still had to be a little bit honest. Yeah, no, it's basically GM if you can go under, Zori if they are over. And Trench was mostly just a shout out of like, yeah, there are a lot of players, and I saw like 2 had done it against mine. I had someone DM me months ago about it, but I don't know. I guess I felt that I had better options, but maybe I do kind of regret not having Trench get set up, mostly because Zori does work and does feel pretty solid, especially for being on double Omicron. The only downside is it's a little bit of a poison pill on banners, where like I do think it's possible to end at -5 if you ended on the right turn. But like the way it went for me is like, all right, I have it at -5. That move didn't end the match. All right, Rose goes next, and it's -9, and then you win, but did you really win type shit. But it does work. It does get it down. But like, yeah, if you just want the cheap kill, like, it's not that bad to do. That I just figured it was worth noting. Like, defense has been pretty damn lucrative for me this season. So, well, I guess depending on your play environment, maybe you would be worried about a -9 for the amount of budget that has been earning me against everyone. Easy to pay, very, very comfortable to pay. And to be honest, I've had so much extra budget that, like, again, nobody's posting anything against me. I'm finishing matches with like 3 GLs unused. I'm finishing matches with like power B teams unused just because it's like, yeah, the off meta versus GL is so cheap at the moment that I have these GLs. So I'm like, I'm holding Jabba, C, and Ray because I'm like, I don't think you're really doing anything on defense right now, but I don't need you on offense. So I'm just hoarding GLs for Galaxy of Heroes 2 at this point. I don't know. Like,
makes sense.
So.
So Great Mothers where you can, Zori where you can afford the bleed, and Trench, this is the one I know about least of all. What are the prerequisites? What are the you can't attempt this? So, if it's Exile Ezra there with the 25% preload, are you shut out? What do we have to look out for?
No, they took out my Ahsoka Heracron with Ezra twice for pretty decent looking banners. I think one was like a 63 or 64.
Let me see if I can't pull that up.
I don't really know the fight. I had someone DM me. I'm sorry, I forgot the name for wherever you are if you're listening. I think it was someone from CU. I'm like 99% sure that's true. But no, I'm basically just raising awareness that like Dooku-Kron, I'm like 99% sure this is contingent on Dooku-Kron just being good.
You're going under, yeah. It's the tie-in of being able to hit under that's really going to be tying it in with the shock and everything else. It's like those combinations of the pieces are going to do it.
Dooku-Kron riposte, it also probably doesn't hurt. Then I'm assuming that Dooku-Kron is still bugged to be able to assist against Ezra.
Yes,
it does.
It is.
That's proven. Yep.
So, okay. All right, so it's a health recovery. Notice that it's not the buffs up level 3. It is Repose 6, Dooku 9. And as far as stat profile, a little chunk of protection, but almost 90% potency and about 39% crit damage.
Yep. I haven't done it. It's just something I saw people do to me.
Livid did it. Because I was going through all the season of studying, and Livid was able to make it do it. And then also there was a fail. So it's not just, and I think it was probably something along the lines of the defense, but I did see where it did lock out. What's wild to me is that it's Trench and GAC. Now, Trench and TW, we're playing different games. So, but seeing that, yes, people were getting this Trench to work, again, Datacron dependent, is wild to see.
I mean, it's a pretty strong Datacron, and like Ahsoka is just a TW gel, man. We gotta call it what it is. Now, granted, I would love to question how this caster would work if Ezra wasn't just continually bugged against this S-Crons. I think just sucks.
I think that's the biggest thing is the fact that you do get an assist on Ezra. So you literally have control mechanisms in place that's going to stop that bullshit that would be happening right now.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, my default thinking was like, I've got GM, I've got Zori, I've got Sith Eternal. Like, I'm not really in the market for it. But for the 1 week that it will still continue to exist, technically, the banners are better than Zori. That maybe I kind of regret not scooping it up a little bit sooner now that, Heracron has properly popularized. But... yeah.
All right. Next one here. Starkiller versus Ray Ezra. Yeah, I want to say, I think I heard you say on stream the other day that you've done it a couple of times, but the one I saw, I think, ended in a drop, which was unexpected, right? What's going on with this counter?
I just wanted to shout that it continually feels pretty good, and for this week, taking Wampa FTC to level 5. It was just like a fat chunk of stats for relatively pretty cheap that should make dealing with the super heavy defense plus LS bulk runs, I would hope, a lot more manageable. Let me see what my win rate is this season. But yeah, it's been a lot of what you would expect.
Okay. Am I wrong about having thought that I saw you drop one?
I'm trying to remember. I
wanna,
mostly remember winning.
I want to say that it happened if it didn't. Here's Ray. There's a win right there, and that is with Ezra. This is with now. Have you fought this where I see it's Ray Ezra and it's also Xeris with the Xeris level 9, but it's not the damage reduction 6, or I don't know if you had any experience to say against a variety of level 6s for Jedi Vanguard. Did that make any difference to you?
I know I've fought 75% DR a few times.
Okay.
I don't know about the other variants.
It made no difference to you. Oh, this guy saved Ray. Okay, so that's why we don't see that. And there you are, successful again. There's a DR. 260% defense, no less. Pretty well configured for this. Wow,
Yeah.
very nice.
It's
Very
not
nice.
400, but...
Yeah. So it's not exactly Baby Yoda, but it's the right composition.
I would also say, though... comparing like what that Barriskron is, the Barriskron I only just jammed because it's like 180% crit damage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just trying to compensate whatever damage to match their intensity. Like, I don't think any damage cron can really meet 400. You just kind of do the best you can. But Wampa is offering 100% crit damage, 100% offense, which that doesn't hurt. That doesn't fucking hurt.
So
I'm liking it. I'm liking
it, dude. It's so dumb.
I really want to see. I'll go back and watch your VOD, but I want to see exactly how you pursue that fight. Are you killing Xeris first, and how are you managing it? I think you're usually choosing to.
You definitely want to watch his fights. That is
Yeah.
not. No. He was. No, to Fatal, he was literally the math meme of like all of the things going on in front of you.
Yeah.
So watching him watch it, but obviously the fight. So the ability to him to move, that is not one where it's like, let me just write these instructions out. Bullshit. He was playing the entire field and doing all of the things.
Fight.
Yeah, dude, you can literally see the equations going in front of his face as he was doing this because no, that's okay. I'm cool.
It
was very good.
A lot of this is just a continuation of the shit that I was doing back when Ezra came out. I'm still on Turbo Star Killer with Mara 1 under with her accuracy error. Mm-hmm. That shit still feels good. The only thing I'm really questioning on myself at this point is I might be fucking up badly for this team. Like maybe Mara could be over on damage because I think I just got her on like a broadly like. I'll be responsible, like 3 bulk primary, maybe, or well, I guess it's 2 now with accuracy arrow, like potency cross would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, when you're playing Turbo Star Killer, Turbo Mara, you've got control. All we really care about here is just juicing out extra damage because we're on that speed set Star Killer. That's.
I just want to reiterate, we are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Fatal can play this game of Swigo. Do not expect. I really have to caution.
Gotta go do your homework.
Yeah, this is not it's just like, and then we know the Ray fights, they are fluid. And anybody who's listening here is listening to the sweaty stuff. They are fluid. So adjustments need to be made during the fight. And are you okay being able to do that?
For sure.
All I can say is, I mean, I'm pretty sure we all hail from said era where there used to be a time where you just fought Ray every day. You did it with JML. You did it with all. We did it with Gas at some points. We did it with all sorts of shit. That I do think that there is a sort of lost art happening right now where I think that like you just kind of it really like Gas versus Ray is the easy example of it. You just need to enter a flow state where you're just constantly looking at the Terminator, you're looking for who has inspired, you're thinking about who has Whirlwind or like who does she have Whirlwind right now or not. You're like, it's really just like you're spinning plates, and as long as you spin those plates relatively well, make sure your shock is spread out for Emperor Palpatine. Maybe do some Palpatine laughs if you know that they have 400% defense just to like slowly chip out their health bars or whatever. Like, you have control of the fight, so it's really just on you to like push buttons quickly and like in the vaguely correct direction. Now, to be clear, I have fucked up a fair amount. You asked if I kill Barris first. Mm-hmm. No, I do not. And let me tell you, Uh, I
You
was at like
tried, you died?
no. I came very fucking close. If anything, the heavy defense cron saved me
Okay.
because I wasn't thinking about the Ben solo revive. Barris was last standing, and I went to close her out. Ben popped his head back up as I sent Starkiller attacks on Barris, and I was like, "Oh fuck! Wait a minute!" As the Starkiller animation was cleaving down, if the Barris was worse, I would have lost. But the Barris was too bulky. Thank God for 75% DR. So I got to continue playing the video game, and it went okay. But
Wow.
the end of the fight is a credits to Ben Solo. I will give him. I do think he's a low impact character, but this is like a really cool moment of like him anchoring insurance against that revive clause was at least like that's some cool shit. That's like using that revive clause in a way that I've never seen him use before. Like that was a true pain in the ass. That like you had to deal with him. But yeah, once I realized it was a part of the matchup, that was like, okay, we can play around this. We can make sure we do this right. Easier said than done sometimes, but done all the same.
Yeah, go back, folks. Check Fatal's footage from this last week. Look into that because that requires some advanced study, I would imagine. All right,
But I have heard from people who have tried swapping to Turbo Star Killer with Mara 1 under, and they've been raving about it too. So yeah, I don't know. We all play at different levels of the game. Maybe you're in 100% defense or whatever, but if you could get comfortable with it, I think there's still plenty of value to be had there. Return to tradition.
I appreciate you sharing. Yeah, and I mean that a lot of people would use Seer, Malicos, Star Killer to take out Rey, and I mean if you get comfortable with doing this, you've now given yourself a complete Seer team for any application. So I mean it there's still enduring incentive to look into that. Fair.
I intend to use Seer to apply stick directly to the forehead this week, and we will see how it goes.
Good. Okay, guys. Meta-analysis is done. Let's go ahead and dig into favorite attack and defense of the week. Let me pull up myself. I want to say, pulling off the Seer Malicos here versus Lord Vader felt great. And as far as the set 22 cron I used, you can see it's got 73% crit damage, about 20% offense, and 76% defense. So kind of all over the place. But the defense seemed to help. And yeah, my guess is that in the particular case of Lord Vader, maybe more offense is better than crit damage on this cron, particularly with the level 3. But what was it? Yeah, just about 3 minutes to get the whole job done. Let me tell you, for being a sub 3-minute fight, it feels like it takes a while. So if you do and it feels a bit iffy, then yeah. Let me see anything that worked out. Yeah, Saw versus JMM. It doesn't matter what the JMM cron is. Saw is a lock. So if you're finding that you're not setting Saw because you have opponents that are universally saving their dad bod Fennec and being successful against your Saw, that might be something to consider. Let's see. Yeah, there it is, Fatal. The Balin against the Seer thing I was telling you. Seer Star Killer. No, that's not Reva. That's the other round. Where is it? I think I did that here as well. Yeah, here's the Reva Star Killer. So 65 in under 2 minutes. Again, with Zalbarkron. We don't know how good it'll be. But yes, here is the disaster, the very next round, using the same composition of Seer Star Killer. Just as I said, I wanted to take the Oppo-Cron to have this high armor penetration to counter the defense here, and that did not work. I mean, we took out the sides, but they focused us just right. And I also want to say, I think one move I made was bad. When we got to Malicos' first turn, CX2 was open, and I was able to set him up such that I didn't kill either CX2 or DCT on the first throw of rocks, but I was able to get them both down in the next couple turns, which means I probably could have and should have just targeted Oppo, because the problem was Oppo did that, him taking turns is just bad. Him getting to get around to the AoE was lethal for us. I would not recommend allowing him to take turns. So anything you could do for that, I would, it's pretty much only going to be Malicos because Crew is your other stun. I guess Star Killer's ship, but I don't even know if the ship stuns if it's not, the full Ufu condition met for him. Anyway, I don't know how good this is going to be against Lord Vader with the set 22 come next 5 vs 5 either, because we'll be without this. This Kron, I think most of us would say, has so much armor penetration that it's probably doing more for this team than the Wampa Kron. I don't know. I might try it either way, but I have worries. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything else interesting. I don't think I got any seriously cool holds. My Jabba did hold what I think was to Night Sisters. What was it? What did he drop on? Yeah, he did attempt Great Mothers. Wow. I've heard, isn't Great Mothers mostly pretty solid against Jabba? This Kron I have on has high defense, and it's also the level 3 that says whenever Darkside allies start their turn with fewer than 3 buffs, they recover 5% health and protection. So, he timed out on it, so clearly, we blew up the sides. That's what happened. I don't know. All right. I think that's it for... Oh, yes. Gosh, I'd be remiss not to mention this. Against this round versus Herbert, I had so little time going into it. I blitzed through all these squads, got really good scores on the whole, got to this Executrix fleet, and bungled it with Profundity. So, first of all, Profundity generally betrays me in the sense that Han likes to sit on his ass. However, in this particular instance, I decided to go after the bomber, thinking that, destroying the bomber was probably the best way to get the firmest handle on the fight. You do not have the damage on the opener to just run through him. You just don't. I didn't even get the assist, but judging how little of the health I took away, the protection off of bomber, it wasn't going to do it regardless if I got lucky. So I have seen other people with Profundity get, with the same composition you see me use right here, get like 76 banners. I want to say 75. And I have to believe that means that they're going all in on either Shuttle or Gauntlet, not the Bomber. My guess is Shuttle. So if I had to do it all over again, and I probably will, I'm going to go after the Shuttle. That being said, I have seen people do Negotiator with 5s, Marauder, Anakin, and then Plo as the sole reinforcement to easily dispatch this Executrix team. Again, I'm thinking that you're probably going to go in on Bomber for that because you have a considerably better burst from Negotiator than you do from Profundity. So, anyway, a couple options dealing with that fleet because this Executrix fleet is definitely becoming more popular. I've been setting it a bunch this season. I think that's about it from me. TJ, how about you? Your favorite attack and defense of the week?
Attack's going to be the BKM on the LV. Working that up and do it felt phenomenal.
Who'd you do
and then
that
figuring
to?
Out the
was that against...
it was against last... Arendelle was the one where I got it to work.
Okay,
I tried it on Dagger.
You only got one down on Dagger. Now, what could you say about that fight, though? What went bad on that early attempt?
Oh, that was your user error. I like I said, I watching again. We'll give it the shout out to Livid and also to Vextron and whoever else.
Mm-hmm.
But getting to see Fatal watch the fight and then also seeing Vextron do it, I figured out where my mistake in the mechanics were of what I was trying to do. And from there it was fine. And again, if that's really where I messed up. And if I would have understood that, I would have been in a much better spot. So I will be back to try that again this week because it feels really good and also gives you an answer to LV. And I also think Fatal did a great job again on his worst case scenario of something going down. So it was phenomenal. Got to set up everything. Made me sure I'm locked in. So it should be check balance. The other one that was fun was, and I should be on Dagger's fight, and I've done it before. It's the 4-man queen against
I remember seeing you do this. That was cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And it's such a fast, man. It's like if you go to your queen team and you want to fight something under a minute, beating it out and then getting a 66 on And that setup is phenomenal.
Yeah, brutal. Like that one.
So,
anything on defense for you that stuck out this week?
I actually like the setup and changing it over with my setup with LV. That felt
what
really
round
solid.
We looking at? Level here? You went over to set 22 high defense? Okay.
You did. Yes, sir. So
closed out a Bane like that.
I wish I would have talked to Fatal before to adjust some of the settings, but it felt good and it did great. Now knowing what I know, I think Dagger and I both could have one shot our LVs, but for this week, it did its job. It held like a champ all 3 rounds.
Got it. All right, appreciate that. Fatal, how about you? I know we've gone on at some length about your favorite attacks, or some of your favorite attacks of this week, but anything else you wanted to highlight attack-wise and then defense?
Yeah, it's funny it went that way because, to be honest, I've actually really enjoyed the season, but almost all of it was for defensive purposes. It's been a pretty fun season overall.
Okay.
Honestly, the best way to go about this would be, can I just post 2 pictures of both of my walls?
Please. Please.
It's been a fucking weird season, man.
I do like your setup. You calling it out about what it's supposed to do was cool. So it's and I think you did a great job end of the last round showing what was just so successful, right? Because it was cool. It was a cool idea.
Oh, wait, the Seer, I guess, is a preview for next week. Whoops. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's already on screen, but I'm sorry to say.
No, that's fun. That's fine. I posted it on my Discord. It's out technically. Yeah, no, it's basically just the only wall you're not seeing is the wall of shit that you would expect. It's Maria, it's LV, it's SLK, it's all Ahsoka, it's all the boring shit. But the reason why whatever, man. Everyone has a plan for that, so I'm just fuck it, that's going top wall.
I just laugh at it because it's all boring. But if you look at this shit, it's that is completely frightening. There's too much shit to deal with. You're giving him too many things. There's too many sad points.
The reason why I'm going this approach instead of just highlighting some teams is because this is one of the first defenses I've had in a while that just felt really fucking good, that almost every team was putting on some pressure. Saw Gerrera is semi-successfully teching against Dadbod. I had 6 people try and 4 of them dropped. So not airtight. I might pull him off this week just for, that sin. Just see if we can jack up the difficulty more. But I mean, he earned his keep. Amidala got her keep. Seer even got a hold. Bad Batch, this is the one thing I'm a little bit torn up about, is because I didn't expect to be posting them on defense, but I locked in with support cron, and I was just I don't know, man. I do think this is explosive enough. I kind of want to mess with it. But I didn't have them on proper mods until this week's lock. So they haven't technically done any damage, I don't think, yet. I mean, they I think they took a gas down to 53 banners or something was one thing I saw. Okay. But yeah, I do think it's a very interesting thing, and I did it with the gas or with the JMK squad as well. I don't know why this season was just the theme of fuck it, I'm not tanking. I'm trying to punch you first hard. But yeah, no, it was just.
If I had to guess your Saw losses, Beto, I don't think they probably either listened to our show, which would be fair, right? Because we're the sweaty of the sweaty. If they're not taking their Fennec and moving them around to do what they were supposed to do, i.e. the protection build was fine if you're doing it that way. Get her out of just the standard bulk, let's go kill stuff. Your team was one of the most struggling setups, right? Because obviously you're packing the damage in that they just couldn't maintain. And I think that's what we talked about last season. And I don't think people were doing their homework on their Fennec readjustment is the big thing. So if they didn't readjust their Fennecs and they didn't listen to ours now, they're probably going to go through the same problem of, no, this should work fine. It's what it was. Oh, did you make the adjustments? Well, you didn't. You didn't understand the assignment, so you failed.
It's not quite that simple. A lot of work went into the Saw team to earn those holds. Because crucially, you can't just juice damage. Cheer it is a very specific call out there. Because there were plenty of people who would lose Fennec and were still dying. but very, very heavy health and defense to make sure that Saw stalled out. Went a long way, but also like, yeah, it's 100% crit damage on Saw. It was some really good mods on Kyle. Cheer it. Really good mods on Luthen in that respect too. Like, yeah. I'm glad to see that people are finally building Fennec properly, but I was planning my team around a proper Fennec. That I don't think it was just quarter cutting.
That's fair.
Yep, makes sense. All right. That about nothing else from you then, Fatal, on that?
I thought tankless JMK was funny. Like jam on defense was novel.
It was goofy. Yeah, that is funny.
It killed the quiz. Can't complain.
I believe it.
Killed Inquisitors.
I believe
interesting.
Inquisitors hasn't been super duper consistent against JMK this season, I think.
It's a General Skywalker modded to 320 speed with 100% crit chance and 80%
Okay,
potency.
so yeah, you're cheating.
Horrible.
Okay,
yeah, that sounds generic.
That's fine. Yeah, you're cheating, and that's fine. I'll respect the cheating.
All right, guys, let's move into takeaways and final thoughts. I thought this would be the best section to just briefly, and I do mean briefly, cover our expectations with as much detail as you're comfortable going into for this week. Really, regarding the new Datacron set 23,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not you went for any of the focus Datacrons or just some of the new ones from the set, I thought some of the early standouts was, of course, going to be the return of Ninth Sister, because now Inquisitor's is going to be considerably more formidable on defense. That was the case the last time we had this setup, so I expect we'll be seeing a lot more of that in the near future. This Rey thing seems mostly a gimmick, but it didn't seem like a gimmick I wanted to deliberately avoid. I have a high-level account with a lot of Relic 8 and Relic 9 characters to maybe seize on the advantage from this level 9. So I thought I'd get into it. We'll see. And then, probably third and least among these, I did like this Night Trooper Cron coming back. I think the level 3 that I like is different than this one. I don't have it yet, but we're working on it. I think it's I want Potency Tenacity for this compared to the others, because they're not doing a billion debuffs to gain it.
I will say you have us paused. And that's obviously for good reason, though, Tess. So whatever you're showing us, we're not seeing.
No, that's my bad.
So
Let me fix that. That was not intentional. Regardless.
No, that's okay.
Regardless, those are the three of the new set that I was kind of slowly working up one of these throughout the week, and then as soon as the new Focus Datacrons became available, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did wail a bit to get a couple of
these. Dude, they are
they're
so good.
I likewise, like you and Fatal both echoed, did pick up the Wampacron, pushed it up to 6. Kind of ran out of juice here to pick up the rest of it, but it's all good. I mean, it's perfectly functional up until this point. But yeah, the stats on this Cron makes it's going to be my effective replacement for the Apocron that I've been using with Bane all this time. So I'll be cool with that. This one, there's supposedly some pretty interesting expectations for what this Rolocron can do. That's probably going to be the most transformative in a way that affects the top meta as far as Crons go. This Darth Vader thing looks interesting because it looks like it's taking a longer road of replicating the entire your Darth Vader now kills GLs thing that we had some years ago. So I haven't put any, I didn't put my back into either, the Sortie or the Darth Vader Cron for this last week. But that's kind of where I was sitting. So as far as applications, maybe Inquisitors on defense. The Rey, you can do any number of things. I've thought about how if you have some health steal on, I don't think that does this have health steal? It has a little bit. So you can choose your stats, but if you wanted to set this with like a Finn Zori team, of course, Fatal inadvertently showed, and we might as well say it because we saw it. You could do it with an Ufu team. You could do it with your GL Ray team. You could think of maybe other applications, but there might be something to it. You don't want to get, any hits from her at all, I imagine. And then Night Trooper, I don't know if this is going to make it a lock on defense, but I'm willing to try. I think I'm willing to try. Because I've missed what this team used to do in different Datacron metas on defense. Did you guys have any embellishments? Any thoughts that you wanted to throw in?
Horribly to Admiral Radis.
Die horribly to Admiral Radis? You mean the Great Mothers?
I thought you were talking about DTMG.
Oh, no. I'm thinking about setting Great Mothers because I haven't all season. And it's like, if I'm gonna, maybe with this Kron, but yeah. Thanks for joining us here towards the end, Dagger. Glad you were able to get in at the takeaways.
I mostly just wanted to say GG to TJ for the stream's purposes.
Yeah.
The rest of me being here is just to troll you.
Fair.
It makes sense that you couldn't put your back into those Krons considering how many shots it's been taking over the last couple of weeks.
Just the last week. First week I did well. First week was good.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about,
He's saying in life.
Yeah.
He meant overall your entire life. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
bring out the juice.
Yes, Diddy.
I got you. All right. Yeah. Well, so Dagger, though, no notes from you on plans for set 23 then?
I didn't do shit with this new set except for take Rolo to level 3, and
awesome.
I didn't lock in with anything.
Okay.
We'll see how much time I have to play this week. It's continuing to be busy, as was last week. And then the best part is next week, during the off week, is back to school week, where we have to get all our shit for. Anyway,
you son of a bitch! It's this week for me, you asshole. Don't bring up the sadness.
Yeah, it's not going to get better. Is what I'm trying to say.
All right. TJ, how about you? Thoughts? Well, Dagger's good at it. So first, your thoughts about this Datacron set.
I honestly played all right. So I've been a heavy proponent. Fatal said I thought it was great. That all-in attack seemed phenomenal, and I was in for it, right? And then I went and looked at the Wampacron, and those numbers of here's some slaps. Oh, you like slap? Let me double down, and you don't even have to go that far. And I'm like, just to give you an idea, I went and looked at my SOKR and I put it on. Oh, he's at 21K. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Yeah. So it's I took each one of the focus Datacrons is where I kind of put more of my focus. I like yours, and I like the idea of what they're doing, and obviously they'll have their moment in the sun because I think there's a lot of room here. But I just started getting the FDCs up. The all-in attack seemed, man, I think that's going to be gross. The high damage numbers, I know Fatal has an idea for it. I started taking up Vader somewhat because it was cool with the mechanic that's on there. So I don't know what I'll get if I get to do anything or not, but And then I like the level 3 on the Swordy one. I don't know if it gets to do anything, but that's really where I put my focus was each one a little bit here, a little bit there for a different reason because I feel like they've got some real things coming.
Yep. Fair enough. Fatal, your thoughts on the set 23?
I just want to shout out Tom Ford for saying there's no way the meta can be worse than it currently is right now. And then later CG put out that Wampa now works in CW. So
yes,
maybe you just shouldn't run your mouth sometimes. Maybe some things just don't need to be said. Maybe you don't have to Cassius curse anything.
I hear you. They don't listen, Fatal, that they're listening everywhere. And every time you put a mechanic out of CG, you can't do worse. They constantly say, hold my beer. It's literally tatted on their back with the 69 because someone's going to eat it.
But yeah, I don't know. I just see there's some stuff that you can mess around with on defense, but for the most part, I just see a bunch of offensive tools, and I'm not really too excited for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did Wampa to 5, I did Rolo to 5, grabbed a Stick Ray Kron just to see what I could do to people. Maybe I would have been better off doing Nine Sister instead, but I would have to sit with it a while because I feel like I don't know. I get the feeling that Nine Sister on defense might not be what she used to be, even with that backing support.
The level 3 isn't as good as it used to be last time. So
wasn't the last time we had a Ninth Sister Kron? We had 8 GLs or 7 GLs or something like that.
Maybe
we were missing one or two of the ones we have back then. The point I'm trying to make is what Fatal's saying is that the board was bigger back then by there's less teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I'm saying the tools to beat it might be better now than they were back then. That the team might not be what it was. I mean, that might not be true. We'll see. But yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that. All right, then once more back around from the top for the final thoughts here for me. Just going into this last week, naturally, I've got the most data at my fingertips for scouting my opponent. I started out rank 2 this week. I'm up against Arsenal, who is currently sitting at rank 1, so this is determinant for how the season ends. Hopefully, I can get it. If you're at the top end against people who may have gone for some of these set 23 crons, check. Don't get caught flat-footed. Try and anticipate what they might rotate to make use of them. All the normal stuff going into this last week in terms of look at your own history. Where were you dropping? Do you have patterns of that? What can you rotate to alleviate you making those same mistakes in week 3? Just tighten it up and enjoy the last hurrah of set 21. Dagger's a bum and has no other comments to offer for this week, so we'll skip right on over to TJ.
Whoa. First off, eat shit. What I have to say is more important than yours because I'm just more important than you are. Can't even fucking finish first. What a bum. Had 1 goal, couldn't do it.
True.
No. All jokes aside, no. I will hopefully have time to do some attacks. It's just, man, last weekend killed me. I was debating whether or not to take this week off, and I joined. And I told myself I was going to take it pretty chill. I'm not going to change my defense. I'm just going to lock it in tomorrow for the week. And I should have time to play my attack phases. So, to what Tass said, I'm going to move some stuff around to kind of make my attacking life easier based on not scouting this week, just because I won't really have the time. So, it's a good time to move more towards efficiency, which is generally the case towards the end of a season anyways. You just slowly move more and more towards efficiency unless you're fatal, or you just keep moving more and more on the defense as you move forward. So,
all right. Appreciate that,
Okay.
Dagger.
Yeah.
On to you, TJ. Your takeaways, your final thoughts going into week 3.
Yeah, I actually did some good retweaking and remodding. Actually, something that the 3 of us talked about for a very specific team and a very specific setup. I actually got it set up and I lined it in. I'm not going to give it away because obviously the people were playing at the top and all that, but I actually did do some pretty heavy reworking on some of my characters and strengthening. So I was looking at all of the pieces that were going to go in. Tried to re-roll some things, just getting that in line. And then honestly, just back to the BKM. So I'm excited to see what we're going to try. And then also with this new Datacron set, man, that offense is so stupid. I just want to see what it can do. Either I put it down. It's just adding the new mechanics. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, depending on how everything works. So, or I'm going to be cried and sad, and we'll go 0-3 again, and we'll just have a good time that way.
Okay.
Also, really quick, this is not really a GAC takeaway, but this pirate team's really good in the raid with the final lead.
Oh, nice. Good to hear. I'd give that a go this week. All right. Over to you, Fatal. So, yeah, your takeaways, your final thoughts, last words for the folks at home going into the last week.
But a fun season, both offensively and defensively. I can't really complain too much. I'm just hoping to try to tweak my defense to be a little bit better and continue. I mean, really this season has just been about rank repairing, which is why I'm a little bit irritated that I lost some matches that shouldn't be losses, or that basically were losses. But yeah, it's getting there. I'm somewhere around 200 now, so moving back on up. I think all told, I have thrown away 240 to 300 free points worth of wins from time losses and other shit lately. But frankly, the thing that I learned in the last month is it's time wasn't really the issue. It was just a lack of preparation or lack of prep, or just people pushing me out of a comfort zone, some weird shit that maybe stop and think. So now that I'm back in a game plan and comfortable with I finished last match with 25 minutes left or something like that. It was I didn't know that was an option. All right, I guess I'll just go leave JSC now. Bye.
All right.
But
yeah, that makes perfect sense. And as the only other content creator on our show, where can the good folks find you this week?
Twitch.tv/PlaybookTV, also multicasted on youtube.com/theplaybook. No video content yet. Working on it when possible. Working on it right now, actually. Well, not right now, but like as soon as we're done.
Okay. Well, thank you, gentlemen, all for making the time today, and thank everybody here for watching. Of course, if you want to catch me live this week, then the place to do it is twitch.tv/Tassinix. I also simulcast from my own YouTube channel, Tassinix Gaming, where, if you haven't been over there, there is a wealth of Slugger-related content that you may be interested in. Got stuff like the GAC Omicron tier list that's been updated, the How to Mod series, just starting from fundamentals and building up from there, mod guide videos on characters and factions that you've asked about, and of course, a rebroadcasting point for this very show. Plotting and Scheming is native to Spotify, but wherever you catch an episode, check the description. There is a link that you can use to plug into your preferred podcast program and follow us over there. But yeah, anything that you enjoy over on the YouTube, please give a like and hit subscribe if you want to see more. Really appreciate your support. A lot of new subscribers to the YouTube channel lately. We just a couple days ago, we pushed up over 1,500, now almost 16, just in a few days' time. So for such a small channel, that's actually quite a bit. Thank you, guys. And of course, if you want to go above and beyond the call of duty to support the stream, there are a couple ways to do it. I do have a Cash App that is $Tassinix. I have a PayPal, which is tassinix@gmail.com. And of course, if you'd like to get some enhanced power for your own scouting, early access to some of my content, including Plotting and Scheming, and some other fringe benefits, you may be interested in checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/Tassinix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. At $5 a month, you enter the TAS House at VIP access level, where you get early access to the Plotting and Scheming show that's coming out to our general audience Friday mornings at 8 a.m., but patrons get it as early as Tuesday night, within hours of us recording it, giving you that early edge on the on the first round of the week. In addition, early access to things that come out, like the How to Use Hot Utils video that was a patron exclusive for a couple months. And, whatever odds and ends I might produce otherwise, you guys would have first crack at. Of course, there's a dedicated text and voice chat on Discord where I am usually lurking, so pop on in and say hi. Thank you so much to Andrew, Banja, Boba Isa, Deadpool Cow 28, JJ's Dad, JJ's Productions Twitch, Joven4527, Miasmal, Mus Ross, Rays Malvis, Sam Bimes, Sheepdog 47, Squed, Stark Strategy Gamer, Sweens14, and White Wolf. Moving on up to the $10 a month tier is VIP Access Plus, where you get a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot's that tool I show at the start of my streams that give you an at-a-glance sense of what your opponent is about, offensively and defensively. And while anybody can use that tool for free to scout their opponent's last week of history, only patrons can build out a custom report with any number of weeks. You get a downloadable HTML version of that report with links that you can click that go right back into Swugga.gg or Insight, whichever you prefer to use. Alternatively, you might spring for the Hot Utils Patreon, aka Chili subscription, which is the #1 tool for your mass mob management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between your Grand Arena, TB, TW, raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do to comprehensively remod your roster. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, be a big help to your guild and TW, whole bunch of stuff. Regardless, no wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you so much to Aussie Mike, Esh Sotnikam, Meow for Me, Mr. Tony, Shake23501, Single Malt Jedi, Snack Attack, Striker, Super Mard, and Trouble Fingers. And at VIP Access Premium, this is $15 a month for the Double Bot Bundle. So Patreon access for me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils, all under one subscription. Going out and buying those bots a la carte costs the same, so that's why so many of my subs say that this is one of the best value bundles in all of Swugga. Thank you so much to Argots, Arj, Bjorn, Big Ninja, Duckstab, Darth Link, Frick Paddywhack, General Milan, Ibanek, Johnny B. Ottawa, Kev, Mini GK, Pills, Ploon, Wig, Rawling, Saldag, Sir Boss, Sophis, The Lost Womprat, Trevor Boy Gaming, Wilco, and Zoltray. And at the top of the list in Jester's Club Elite, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper. This madman still drops into streams from time to time and, hands out hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies, incredibly generous support over the years. Thank you so much, man. And last but never least, our special thanks. First, to the Lost Womp Rat, one of my patrons who's gone so far and above and beyond the Call of Duty, helped me optimize my OBS a while ago, but then more recently helped me set up my Stream Deck, making life all that much easier for me, doing what I love to do here with you guys. So thank you, Womp. To Mrs. T, my wife, thank you for all you do in the background, whether it's bringing me a drink, something to eat, or just keeping our daughter from destroying our home while I'm, occupied trying to be halfway decent at a phone game. And of course, to Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal, my co-hosts here on Plotting and Scheming. Gentlemen, it is always a pleasure and a privilege to record our show. It's been a couple weeks, and it's a blessing to be back in the saddle talking shop with you guys. As always, I learn from you every week, and hopefully the feeling is occasionally mutual, but it's not about us, it's about our viewers. A lot of great discussion and engagement around our show. I have you guys to thank for making it what it is and making it the show that the people love to tune into. So thank you guys. All right, moving back over to the main scene. Yeah, you've made it this far. We are heading into this final week. Tighten up your game and enjoy this last hurrah for set 21. We'll break it all down come next week when we review the week 3. And until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.